one of the worst things we're all gonna have to deal with in life. Can you guess what it is? It's overthinking. Now, overthinking is one of the hardest things any of us are gonna deal with. It's one of the hardest things because it's, if not the worst thing, now it might not be fear when you see something spiritual right in front of you, or it might not be anxiety or stress or insecurities. It might not be those things, but it may beat it in terms of entertaining those thoughts over and over again. See, you're gonna have a choice. You either gonna let those thoughts be entertained in your mind, or you're gonna choose to give them to God and let them go away in Jesus' name. Can't have both. It's like when you walking with God, right? You can't have both. You can't walk with God and walk with the devil, or be on the fence, because if you're not with God, you're with the devil no matter what. It's the same thing here. And this same concept can be applied in this. Now, so many people ask, well, what is overthinking? You probably know what it is based on the feeling, you just don't know how to say it in words, which is why I'm about to tell you. So, overthinking is simply the substance of one thought and then creating it into an alternate reality in your head, and then entertaining that thought constantly, and then you start to do it over and over again, whether it's in relationships, whether it's in, I don't care, video games, whatever it is. You constantly start to do it, and then it creates insecurities, and then it's this constant cycle of you letting it touch everything you have, and then it's a repeated cycle. And I'm telling you, man, it is not fun, and it is hard to break. It's so hard to break, in fact, that I'm still working on it. You see, I'm dating this girl right now. I won't go into too much detail about her, but, there's this process of me not understanding that she needs time, and that she needs time to heal. She even told me that she's, desocializing herself, and I totally get it. I totally 100% get it. And, she's trying to be here for me as much as I can. She's giving as much effort as she can, and I totally get it. And I straight up told her, I'm like, I ain't going nowhere. I'm waiting, and I'm gonna wait, just like she gonna wait for me. We all good. Everything's all good. She's loyal to this, she's loyal to that. Everything's good. But the one thing I didn't understand was that not everything was about me. You see, not everything was about me in it. And I'm gonna tell you why. Now, one thing, disclaimer. I didn't understand what I was necessarily doing wrong up until, 2 weeks after doing it. And, I might have pushed her away. I'm not 100% for sure. You can push people away. You can push people away by doing too much and not doing the right thing. But, I'm sure I didn't. And she's probably gonna see this. But, that's okay. So, when we talk about, it in terms of my situation, so what I would do is I would think something in my head. I would think about, story she posted, whatever. And then I would think about how, in the back of my head, right, I would, think, again, the alternate reality thing, which, again, not real. So we gotta get that out of the way. These are not real. These are fake. And most of you watching this probably going through the same thing. I am. And this is not your reality, no matter what the circumstances are. And then it creates insecurity, and it touches every relationship you have. And then it's just this repeated cycle. It's like riding a bicycle down and back in the same street. You go from point A, and you're going back to point B. You go back to point A, point B. It's just a repeated cycle. And it's a repeated cycle because you just keep doing it. And, I'm not just going to ramble on and say, oh, I'll give you a speech on why you should stop. And yes, you should stop. I'm actually going to give you tips to help you. You see, when we talk about these things, we can't just only tell you, oh, why is it so bad? Why do we need to stop? Because why it's bad. Well, you can't only say those things. You gotta say tips. But yeah, so in what I was doing, and I didn't realize, I was creating these alternate realities in my head, and it touched our relationship. It touched it because I kept overthinking everything. But what I didn't realize was all she needs is time and space to heal. Guys, when somebody desocializes, they pretty much, they don't talk to you as much. It's not that they don't like you or anything like that. It's just that they need time. Yes, talk to them as much as you want. Everything's good in the moment, but you just gotta give them time. Y'all still together, y'all are loyal. If it's similar to my situation, like y'all chilling, you know what I'm saying? There's a few other things I did which I won't go into detail because I will not disrespect her, and I will not make our relationship public because I kind of already did, but I didn't really say her name. I just kind of described the situation. Anyways, but yeah, I will not say her name or anything like that. It's just, I'm giving y'all a situation so that y'all don't do the same thing as I did. Because, again, one thing I didn't understand was she just needs the time and space to heal, to get better at talking, to be more comfortable with me. And she needs that because we was kind of moving fast at first. And, we can't just we gotta be in the moment. We gotta be in the moment because, when we're thinking about these realities and we're getting insecurities, what is that gonna do? All you need to know is that God's in the middle and she's loyal and all these things, no matter what the circumstances are, and that it's going to get better. You're just gonna have to trust in those things. Trust in God, number one, and God is gonna be in each one of those things. And the result of these things, man, it's gonna touch every relationship you have. For example, it's touched so many of my friendships, right? There was this one dude I was friends with, and I would overthink everything. I would say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that, I'm sorry. I would say, I'm sorry constantly, and I would think alternate realities in my head. They weren't real. They were not real. I'm telling y'all, it's gonna touch every relationship you have, and before you know it, you're gonna have zero. The only one you're gonna have is God, because God never leaves. So please don't overthink. Overthinking, it's just gonna drain you. Again, it's not real. Think about it like this. This hat, right? We got this hat. This is real. Imagine you see what I'm saying? Imagine. It's just your imagination. It's your imagination. It's not real. You know what the situation is. You know that person's good. You know that they're loyal. You know that your friend still is a friend to you. You know your dad still loves you. Whatever it is, it's not a real reality. And again, one thing I didn't understand with this girl is dude, I can't overthink. I can't do her like the other guys did, or I can't do that. I have to be the good guy. I don't have to. I need to choose to be. And no matter what your situation is, whether they talk a lot or they see you a lot, they don't see you a lot. Whatever it is, no matter what. Again, just know God. Y'all are loyal to each other, and you see. This is one part people never talk about in the overthinking stage. You see, you start something, a friendship, relationship, whatever it is, specifically relationships. If someone is worth fighting for, the first part of the relationship, it's going to be perfect. It's going to be all rainbows. Second part is y'all start seeing who y'all truly is as people. And then the same thing as a friendship. Y'all start hanging out. Right? It's not the same thing as a relationship. The difference between is that y'all don't have feelings for each other. Y'all aren't attracted to each other. But you guys start hanging out. And the beginning of friendship, it's all rainbows. And then you're gonna start to see the other side of how this person is with friends. And that's okay. If we're talking about family relationships, it's gonna be a lot different. You know, this person might not be comfortable with you, you know, being up at 5 a.m. because, you know, someone broke into their house at 5 a.m. multiple times. You never know. You just never know. It's always going to be different. And the thing about this is that when you truly get to know someone, boyfriend or girlfriend, you know, y'all getting married, or, you know, y'all are, whatever stage y'all are at, friendship, you know, family, bond, whatever it is, you can't give up on that. Because every I love you to that person, every I miss you, it's not worth it to give it up. And that's one thing my girl taught me. She taught me that it's not worth it to give it up. It's not worth it. It's not worth it because there's going to come a time where you're going to get to the third stage. Y'all are going to make it through. Y'all finna focus on God more. Y'all finna talk more. Y'all aren't gonna, you know, not communicate as much with each other. Guys, don't let social media fool you. You know, nothing is perfect in life. Nothing is perfect in life. I'm gonna say it again. Nothing is perfect in life. It's like, again, this hat's not perfect. You know, I was expecting to wear it, you know, like this wherever I went, or, sorry, like this. But I was afraid. I'm gonna be honest. I was afraid of what people were gonna say. They were gonna be like, oh, well, you're white, you can't do that. I'm like, and then, you know, I have a bunch of black friends that I do it around all the time, you know. Not being racist or nothing, but like, you know, like you can't just assume that, like, you know, everyone's gonna say bad stuff. You know, you can't, it's just like, you can't assume based on someone's skin color that they're bad or they're good. You never know someone's heart. Only God knows everyone's heart, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, right, again, you can't give up. And once you get out of it, this is anything in life, you know. Imagine 1, 2, 3 stages in your football career, whatever it is. The third stage, the second stage, you realize everything. And then you grow through the second stage. And then the third stage is y'all live happily ever after and y'all keep growing. But y'all are at a point to where it's like, it is so amazing that it's like, y'all talking all the time, y'all seeing each other, calling, whatever it is. But again, relationships are not perfect. Not everyone is going to be as talkative, and not everyone's going to be, you know, not so talkative. You can't let social media fool you. People will say, oh, well, you know, if that thing in your life is not giving you as much as you want, then you should get rid of it, which is not true, because nothing is perfect. You can't just expect it to be like this all the time. Now, don't get me wrong, have standards. There's big no-nos in life. But one thing I learned is that you can't, yes, have high standards, but you can't expect it to be perfect. You have standards, and if you meet someone that's not at those standards, but they need to meet certain standards, then you work with them. That's if you want to, I'm not saying. But again, nothing in life is perfect. But again, there's no-nos that people shouldn't do and shouldn't go for. You know, yeah. And you know, this is an apology to anybody watching this. That's sincere to me. God, I already know you're watching this. Jesus, Holy Spirit, I already know you're watching this. My girl, I'm sorry if I overthink the process. I know it's going to get better. And you know, I'm sorry to you as the viewer if I overthunk and I thought that you were going to stop watching my channel. I'm sorry, my family, if you're watching this. I'm sorry if I ever overthunk. And even though I'm not talking to you right now, I'm sorry that I overthunk everything. And I'm sorry I overthunk it, and I'm sorry. I forgive myself. And I forgive any of y'all if y'all ever overthunk anything. Always remember, you're going to have two choices to make. You're either going to lean on God to make it better, or you're not. And that's up to you and no one else.